The stars shone quietly above Earth as if watching and waiting for something big to happen. Deep in space, far from the bright cities and busy people, a shadow moved slowly. It was a warship, but not just any warship. This was a prototype, built a long time ago and then forgotten by almost everyone. No one thought it would ever be needed again. Earth had moved on. The warship lay in silence, hidden in a secret place. For years, the Empire ruled the galaxy. They were strong, powerful, and cruel. Many planets had already fallen to their armies. Earth was small and the Empire did not care much about it. They believed Earth was weak and not a threat, so they ignored it. But Earth was different. The people there had secrets, things the Empire did not know. Long ago, when the Empire first started growing, Earth's best scientists worked on a special project. They wanted to build a warship unlike any other, a ship that could fight the biggest enemies and win against all odds. They called it the prototype. It was faster, stronger, and smarter than any other ship. But the project was dangerous, expensive, and risky. Many on Earth did not believe in it, so the government stopped funding it. The warship was hidden away, locked deep underground in a secret base. Years passed. The warship was forgotten. The Empire continued to grow, conquering many worlds. Earth kept preparing small defenses but did not think about the forgotten warship. People went on with their lives, unaware of the threat coming closer. One day, the sky changed. Huge ships appeared, dark and cold, blocking the stars. The Empire's fleet was coming for Earth. It was not just a visit, it was a threat. The leaders of Earth watched in fear. Their small defenses would not stop the Empire's powerful armada. Scientists and soldiers gathered in the highest tower. They tried to find new ways to fight. Suddenly, a signal came from deep underground. The old warship had awakened. Its ancient systems were alive again. The signal was weak, but clear. "I am ready." The leaders were shocked. The forgotten warship was not just a relic. It was alive and waiting. But could it save Earth? No one knew. The warship had never been tested in a real battle. Many feared it would fail, but it was the only hope left. Team was chosen to awaken the warship fully and prepare it for battle. Among them was Captain Mira, a brave and smart pilot. She had heard stories about the warship from her grandfather. He told her it was the last chance for Earth's freedom. As Captain Mira entered the secret base, the walls hummed with energy. The warship stood tall, dark and silent but powerful. It looked like a giant shadow in the dark. Its metal surface was scratched and worn but still strong. The air inside the base was thick with tension and hope. The team worked quickly, repairing old machines and updating the warship's systems. Time was running out. The Empire's fleet was closing in fast. The team had only days before the first battle. Captain Mira studied the warship's controls. The ship's AI spoke softly, telling her stories of old battles and strategies. It was more than a machine. It was a partner. Together they planned how to fight the Empire. Outside, the Empire's ships moved like a storm. Their commanders were sure Earth would fall easily. They laughed at the idea of an old warship stopping them. But they did not know the power hidden beneath Earth's surface. On the day of the battle, Earth's sky was dark with ships. The people looked up, afraid but hoping. Suddenly, the forgotten warship rose from the depths. Its engines glowed blue, cutting through the clouds like a shooting star. The Empire's fleet noticed the warship and stopped. They could not believe their eyes. The forgotten weapon had come to fight. Captain Mira took her place in the command chair. Her hands trembled, but her eyes were steady. The warship was ready. The battle for Earth was about to begin. The warship moved fast, faster than any Empire ship. It dodged lasers and fired back with strange weapons that confused the enemy. The fleet's commanders shouted orders, but their ships were falling one by one. The battle raged for hours. The warship was hit many times but did not stop. It was a machine built for war and survival. Captain Mira felt a connection to it, like they were one mind fighting together. The Empire sent more ships, bigger and stronger, but the warship used clever tricks, hiding in asteroid fields and striking from unexpected angles. The Empire's fleet was losing hope. On Earth, people cheered as they watched the warship fight on screens. They had never seen such courage and power. For the first time, they believed they could win. At night, when the battle paused, Captain Mira and her team studied the warship's data. They learned more about its secret weapons and shields. The warship was more advanced than anyone thought. But the Empire was not done. Their commanders were angry and desperate. They sent their deadliest ships to destroy the warship. The final battle was coming. Captain Mira knew this was just the beginning. The forgotten warship was not only Earth's weapon, but a symbol of hope. If it could survive the Empire's attack, it could change the fate of the galaxy. The stars watched, silently as the warship prepared for the next fight. Earth's future depended on it. The forgotten weapon was awake now, and it would not rest until the Empire was defeated. The warship had awakened, but its journey was just beginning. Deep inside the control room, Captain Mira felt the weight of the moment. Every light on the panels blinked with life, and the soft hum of the engines was like a heartbeat. The ship was old, but it held secrets no one had yet discovered. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly, but Earth was still surrounded by the Empire's massive fleet. Their ships moved closer every hour, ready to take what they wanted. The people of Earth watched anxiously, hoping for a miracle. The team worked day and night. They checked every system, every wire. The warship was built with technology far ahead of its time, but years of silence had left it fragile. Old parts needed repair, and some controls had to be relearned. The ship's AI was strange. It seemed to think and feel almost like a living. Being Captain Mira sat at the command chair, trying to understand the ship's thoughts. The AI spoke in a calm voice, telling her about battles fought long ago and warnings of dangers ahead. Mira listened carefully. This was not just a machine. It was Earth's guardian, waiting for its moment to shine. The scientists discovered hidden compartments within the ship. Inside were weapons never seen before, tools designed to protect, not just attack. There were shields that could bend light, and engines that could move faster than the eye could follow. The warship was not only powerful, it was smart. As the team prepared, messages came from the Empire's commanders. They sent warnings demanding Earth's surrender. They believed Earth was weak, that no forgotten ship could save the planet. But Earth's leaders refused. They knew the truth about the warship, and they believed in their people. Captain Mira trained with her team every day. They learned to pilot the ship, to work as one. The bond between the crew and the warship grew stronger. They were ready to face the Empire's fleet. One evening, the sky glowed with the lights of thousands of ships. The Empire's armada was massive, but the warship stood tall in Earth's orbit, shining like a beacon of hope. People gathered, watching the battle about to begin. The first move came from the warship. It launched a signal, a call to the Empire's fleet. The enemy was surprised. No one expected Earth to fight back so boldly. The warship's engines flared as it moved forward, faster and quieter than any other ship. The battle began quietly at first, with careful moves and tests. The warship used its shields to block enemy scans and weapons. It moved in ways the Empire's ships could not predict. The fleet grew confused and frustrated. Captain Mira guided the warship skillfully, avoiding enemy traps. The crew worked in perfect harmony, controlling weapons and engines with calm precision. The warship's AI suggested new tactics, sharing knowledge from battles fought long ago. Suddenly, the warship fired its first strike. A beam of light moved across the darkness, hitting one of the Empire's smaller ships. The enemy ship was disabled, but not destroyed. This was a warning. Earth was ready to fight, but it did not want to end lives without cause. The Empire responded with more ships, surrounding the warship. They launched waves of attacks, trying to overwhelm the ship's defenses. But the warship adapted. It used its hidden engines to disappear from enemy sight, then appeared behind the fleet. The crew felt the tension, but also the hope. Every time the warship dodged an attack, the people on Earth cheered. For the first time, they saw that they could stand against the Empire. The warship's AI revealed a secret. There was a special weapon inside the ship, one that had never been used. It was designed to disable many ships at once without causing destruction. Captain Mira knew this could change the battle, but it was risky. The Empire's commanders grew angry and ordered their ships to focus all firepower on the warship. The attack was fierce and the warship took damage. Systems flickered, alarms sounded. But the crew stayed calm, working together to fix what they could. Captain Mira made a decision. She activated the special weapon. A pulse of energy spread through space, moving silently but powerfully. Enemy ships slowed, their engines failing one by one. The fleet was caught in the warship's net. The battle shifted. The Empire's ships were no longer hunting the warship. They were struggling to survive. Earth's forgotten weapon had become a force to be reckoned with. As the warship moved through the disabled fleet, Captain Mira looked out at the stars. The fight was far from over, but hope was alive. The forgotten warship was not just a machine, it was Earth's protector, ready to defend its people no matter the cost. The team knew more challenges awaited. The Empire would not give up easily. But for now, the warship had shown its power, and the galaxy was watching. The silence after the battle was heavy. The stars seemed quieter, as if they too were catching their breath. The warship floated through the dark space, surrounded by the disabled ships of the Empire's fleet. Captain Mira stood at the window of the command room, watching the wreckage. Though the fight had been tough, they had won a great victory. But victory brought new questions and new dangers. Inside the warship, the crew worked tirelessly. Systems needed repair, and every corner of the ship was tested for damage. The ship's AI spoke softly, sharing data and warnings. It told stories of old battles, of enemies more powerful and clever than any they had faced. Captain Mira listened closely. She knew that the Empire would not stop after one loss. They would return stronger and more determined. News from Earth arrived. The people were inspired by the warship's success. Cities lit up with hope. Children dreamed of heroes, and families held on to the promise that their world could be safe. But leaders on Earth were cautious. They knew this was only the beginning. The Empire's strength was vast, and the warship was only one ship. One evening, a strange message came through the warship's communication system. It was a call for peace, but the words felt cold and forced. The Empire's commanders offered a truce, a chance to stop the fighting if Earth would surrender quietly. The leaders gathered in the command room, unsure what to do. Was this a trick, or was the Empire afraid? Captain Mira's mind raced. She knew the warship was powerful, but trust was not easy with the Empire. She remembered the ship's warning about enemies hiding in shadows. The truce could be a trap, but if it was real, it might save many lives. The crew worked to prepare the warship for any outcome. They ran drills, practiced maneuvers, and studied the enemy's patterns. The AI helped predict possible moves the Empire might make. Every day was a mix of hope and tension. Then, strange events began. Scout ships reported unusual activity near the outer edges of the galaxy. Ships appeared and disappeared without warning. Signals were lost or scrambled. The warship's AI warned of unknown technology, something not seen before. It was a mystery that brought fear and curiosity. Captain Mira decided to investigate. She took a small team aboard a fast scout ship to explore the strange signals. The journey was long and dangerous, but the crew was determined. They moved quietly through the stars, searching for answers. What they found shocked them. Hidden in the darkness was a secret outpost, a place where the Empire's strongest weapons were being tested. The outpost was shielded and well guarded, but the scout ship's advanced sensors detected something else, a new type of energy, strange and powerful. Captain Mira knew this was a turning point. The Empire was preparing for something big, something Earth was not ready for. The warship's strength might not be enough if this new weapon was unleashed. Back on the warship, the news spread quickly. The crew worked harder than ever, repairing systems and upgrading defenses. Captain Mira shared the truth with Earth's leaders. They had to prepare for a larger war, one that would test their courage and unity. The people of Earth responded with strength. Scientists worked day and night, creating new technology to support the warship. Pilots trained harder, ready to defend their homes. The spirit of the planet grew stronger, fueled by hope and determination. But in the quiet moments, Captain Mira felt the weight of the future. The forgotten warship had saved them once, but the real battle was still ahead. She looked out at the stars, knowing that every choice, every step would shape the fate of Earth and the galaxy. The warship waited, ready to rise again. The galaxy watched, and the story was far from over. The warship hummed softly as it drifted through the endless darkness. Captain Mira stood at the bridge, her eyes scanning the stars, searching for signs of the Empire's next move. The silence was heavy, but it did not bring peace. It brought tension, a waiting that felt almost worse than battle itself. The crew worked in steady rhythm. Every day brought new challenges. The warship's systems had held up well, but the strain of recent fights was clear. Engineers moved carefully through corridors, repairing parts, running tests. Outside, satellites sent information back to Earth, painting a picture of the Empire's growing power. One morning, a new message arrived. This time, it was neither a demand nor a threat. It was a challenge, a call for a meeting in a distant star system far beyond known borders. The Empire's leaders wanted to talk face to face. The message promised peace, but also warned that refusal would bring consequences. Captain Mira gathered her officers in the strategy room. The question hung in the air. Should they trust the Empire? Could peace really be possible after so much conflict? The room buzzed with tension as opinions flew back and forth. Some believed this was a chance to end the war. Others feared a trap. The decision was made to accept the meeting. The warship would travel to the designated system, but with full readiness. Every weapon was checked, every shield strengthened. The crew trained harder than ever, knowing that danger could come at any moment. As the ship moved through space, the atmosphere grew thick with uncertainty. The journey was long, giving time for reflection. Captain Mira thought about the past, the battles, the sacrifices, the hope that had kept them alive. She thought about the people on Earth, counting on her to make the right choice. When they arrived at the meeting point, a strange calm fell over the crew. The vast system was quiet, almost empty. But on the far side of a glowing star, a sleek ship appeared. It was unlike anything the warship had seen, smooth, shining, and silent. The two ships approached each other slowly. The Empire's representatives came aboard the warship. They were calm, polite, but their eyes held secrets. The talks began with careful words, promises of peace and mutual respect. But beneath the surface, tension remained. Captain Mira listened closely. The Empire spoke of new threats, unknown forces beyond their borders that could destroy them all. They said their offer was real, but that they needed Earth's help to face what was coming. The galaxy, they claimed, was entering a dangerous time. The crew exchanged worried glances. Could this be true? Was there a greater danger lurking in the darkness? Or was this another way for the Empire to control Earth? Suddenly, the warship's AI interrupted. It had detected strange signals coming from deep space, signals unlike anything recorded before. The Empire's representatives grew tense but said nothing. The message was clear. The danger was real, but so was the risk. Captain Mira had a choice. She could trust the Empire and work together to face this new threat. Or she could prepare for war, knowing that peace might never come. The decision was made to form an alliance, but with caution. The warship and the Empire's forces would share information and resources, but Earth would keep its guard up. It was a fragile peace built on hope and suspicion. Back on Earth, the news of the alliance spread quickly. Some cheered for the chance at peace. Others feared it was the calm before the storm. Scientists and soldiers alike prepared for whatever came next. As the warship returned home, Captain Mira felt the weight of her choice. The galaxy was changing, and Earth stood at the center of a new chapter. The forgotten warship was no longer just a weapon of defense. It was a symbol of hope, a beacon in the growing darkness. The stars awaited the next move, and Captain Mira was ready. The story was far from over. The warship moved steadily through space, its engines glowing softly against the dark canvas of stars. Captain Mira stood quietly at the command center, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. The fragile alliance with the Empire had opened new possibilities, but also brought new uncertainties. Each moment could change the future of Earth and the galaxy. Reports kept coming in. The strange signals detected earlier had grown stronger. Scientists analyzed the data day and night, searching for clues. The signals were unlike any known technology or natural phenomenon. They seemed to pulse with a strange rhythm, as if alive, as if calling out across the void. The Empire shared their knowledge too. Their experts explained they had seen similar signals before, near the edges of their territory. They spoke of ancient mysteries, of forces older than any star that could affect all life. Captain Mira listened carefully, realizing this was a problem bigger than any one planet or fleet. The Alliance sent out scout ships to investigate, including small teams from Earth's best pilots. The warship stood ready to support them, a guardian, in the darkness. Every day brought new discoveries and new questions. What was sending these signals? Were they a warning, a call for help, or something else entirely? One evening, a scout ship returned with urgent news. It had found a massive structure floating in space, covered in strange symbols and glowing with soft light. It looked ancient, built long before humans or the Empire existed. The structure pulsed in time with the signals. Captain Mira gathered her closest officers. They studied the images and data, trying to understand the purpose of the mysterious structure. The ship's AI suggested it might be a kind of beacon, a device to send messages or warnings across the galaxy. The discovery sparked excitement and fear. If this beacon was still active, it meant someone, or something, was out there, watching, waiting, or trying to communicate. But who? And why? As plans formed to send an expedition to the beacon, tensions rose. The Empire's leaders were wary. They worried about the unknown risks. Earth's leaders debated the next move. Could they trust the beacon? Could they trust the Empire? Captain Mira felt the pressure grow. She knew the expedition would be dangerous, but also necessary. Answers were needed, no matter the cost. The crew prepared for the journey, ready to face whatever lay ahead. The warship escorted the expedition fleet as it approached the ancient structure. The glowing symbols pulsed brighter, casting eerie light over the ships. The silence was thick, with anticipation. When the first landing team entered the structure, they found halls carved with images of stars, planets, and beings, unlike any they had seen. The walls seemed to tell a story, one of creation, of great journeys, and of warnings, passed through time. As the team explored deeper, the beacon suddenly activated. A soft, melodic sound filled the air and holographic images appeared, showing scenes of a great danger approaching, a force that could change the balance of the galaxy forever. The images showed no violence, no destruction, only warnings and pleas for unity. It was a message to all who would listen, work together, or face the unknown alone. Captain Mira felt a chill. The message was clear, but the meaning was heavy. Could Earth and the Empire truly unite to face this challenge? Could they overcome their history of conflict and suspicion? The expedition returned with new knowledge and new hope. The beacon's message had changed everything. Earth was no longer alone, but neither was it safe. As the warship headed back to Earth, preparations began for a new kind of battle, one not fought with weapons, but with trust, courage, and the will to survive together. Captain Mira looked out at the stars, feeling the weight of the future but also the strength of hope. The forgotten warship had become a symbol of a new beginning, a chance for peace in a galaxy filled with uncertainty. The journey was far from over, but the path forward was clearer. The galaxy awaited, and Earth was ready to meet it. The warship glided through the vast emptiness, its engines humming like a heartbeat in the quiet of space. Captain Mira stood at the bridge, her eyes fixed on the distant stars. The journey ahead was uncertain, but the hope that had grown inside her crew was stronger than any fear. The ancient beacon's message echoed in their minds, a call for unity, a warning that the galaxy was changing. Back on Earth, preparations were underway. Scientists, engineers, and leaders worked together, using the knowledge gained from the beacon to strengthen defenses and build new technology. The warship had become more than a weapon. It was a symbol of Earth's resolve and readiness for the challenges ahead. The alliance with the Empire was fragile but vital. Both sides shared resources, knowledge, and ideas. The old rivalries had not disappeared, but they were pushed aside by the greater need to survive and understand the new threats lurking in the dark. Captain Mira's days were filled with meetings, training, and planning. The crew remained alert, ready for any surprise. Every sensor scan, every message was studied carefully. Trust was growing slowly, but it was still delicate. Then, during a routine patrol near a distant star cluster, the warship's sensors picked up something unusual, a faint but steady signal coming from an uncharted system. The signal was unlike the one from the ancient beacon, colder and more mechanical. It pulsed with a rhythm that felt almost like a heartbeat, but it carried no message, only a constant call. Captain Mira ordered the warship closer. The crew prepared for a possible encounter with unknown technology or life forms. As they approached the source, a massive object appeared, a vast structure floating silently in space, covered in strange markings that shimmered under the starlight. This was no ordinary station. It was a creation of intelligence far beyond anything Earth or the Empire had ever seen. The structure seemed to breathe, alive with energy and mystery. The warship's AI tried to interface with it, sending signals and waiting for a response. Suddenly, a door opened, revealing a corridor bathed in soft light. A team was sent inside, cautiously stepping into the alien construct. The walls were smooth, changing colors as if responding to their presence. The air was breathable but tinged with an unfamiliar scent, a reminder that they were far from home. Deeper inside, the team discovered a chamber filled with glowing spheres, each pulsing with energy. These spheres seemed to hold information, memories of a civilization long gone but still alive in the echoes of their technology. The images showed galaxies rising and falling, stars being born and dying, and a great force moving through the universe. The team realized this was a library, a place where knowledge was kept safe, waiting for those who could understand it. The warship's AI worked to decode the information, revealing warnings about cosmic events that could disrupt entire star systems. Captain Mira knew this discovery could change everything. The knowledge held in this alien library might hold the key to protecting Earth and the galaxy from the dangers ahead. But with this knowledge came responsibility. How they used it could decide the future of many worlds. As the expedition returned to the warship, they carried with them a new mission: to protect this knowledge, to learn from it, and to prepare for whatever the universe might send next. The warship was no longer just a forgotten weapon. It was a beacon of hope, a guardian of peace, and a symbol of the strength that came from unity. Captain Mira looked out at the stars once more. The galaxy was vast and full of mysteries, but Earth was ready. The journey that had begun with a forgotten warship was far from over. It was only the beginning of a story that would be told for generations to come. The future was uncertain, but with courage and hope, humanity would face it together.